Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, Facebook. How are you?
My name is Sourena. I am still getting anyway.
This is Sourena the Sagi. Sourena is the speaker who can't speak and the writer who can't write.
My job is romanticizing and being coach.
Sorena's job is to motivate you, to inspire you, and to help you achieve your goals.
No, I'm gonna go over and remember.
Today, Sourena wants to go over something really important. And me, I'm Jamila Doolin, and I just kind of help Sourena bring a story to life. Yeah, I do some coaching and some writing. Yeah, and some outreach. And yeah, and I keep Sourena in line. It is. It's the hardest part.
Yeah.
I would say that.
I read about why you romanticize the past.
So today, Sourena wants to talk about why it is you should romanticize the past.
I should romanticizing the past.
Right. So last week, Sourena talked about the dangers of romanticizing the past.
But look at that. Two sides.
Right. But like so many other things, there's two sides to the story.
Well,
Yeah, so last week, by the way, hi to all of you out there. When you see us, just type in hi or whatever. We'd love participation.
I know why.
Right, so last week, Sourena talked about why we should romanticize the past and why you should not romanticize the past.
Yeah.
And Sourena used LeBron James as an example. LeBron James and the current era of the Lakers as an example.
No one is LeBron James. You can this coming.
Okay, yes. And so Sourena talked about how he knows of people who just can't enjoy the Lakers right now because they're still stuck on the fact that they just miss Kobe. Kobe's not coming back. He's just not. He's done.
You but not the games are right now.
Right. The thing is, you can love the past, right?
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily let it influence, you said, or influence your enjoyment of the present.
Yeah. But
today, Sourena wants to talk about something else. Today, Sourena wants to talk about why you should romanticize the past.
Yeah. And I want to right now.
All right. So Sourena has a quote that he really likes, and it's by Noah St. John. He's the author of
The Success Code.
The Success Code.
Yeah.
So some of you guys might be familiar with Noah St. John, and that's why. So anyhow, here's the quote. When your opinion of your past, present, and future tends to be positive, you'll be happy. When your opinion of your past, present, or future tends to be negative, you will be unhappy. Pretty straightforward.
Pretty. I'm back.
You want to unpack that quote?
Yes.
Okay, let's go for it.
Let's unpack it on the movie level.
All right, so we're going to start by unpacking it on the most basic level.
If five things if I would see how me out in one day,
If five
would see how me one day,
if five great things happen to you in one day,
and I don't know what to figure out.
and on your way home, someone cuts you off on the freeway.
If someone asks, how was your day?
If someone were then to ask you how your day was,
There was someone that said,
there are those people out there who would say, you know what, my day was awesome.
but for a lot of people, they go, oh my goodness, can't believe somebody coming off.
Right. And then there's those people, and unfortunately there's a lot of people like this, who then say, you know what, my day stunk. You wouldn't believe it. Somebody cut me off on the freeway.
Oh, unfortunately, a lot of people,
And unfortunately, a lot of those people,
it is,
exist.
yeah, they can find thing out there,
You know, they can have five really good things happen to them in a day.
and they're forgetting about that.
Right. And then what do they focus on? The one bad thing that happens.
No, a good movie, I tell you why you should have a beautiful part of your life.
Right. So a few weeks ago, Sourena talked about why it is you should have your dreams be the focal point of your life, rather than your limitations.
The number one life is be happy and satisfied.
Yeah, the number one goal in life should be to be happy and should be to be satisfied.
And beyond it, money didn't matter. Money didn't matter. Happy didn't matter.
Right. So beyond that, money doesn't really matter.
Having didn't matter.
Having the big house doesn't really matter.
Having business, maybe a lot of it.
Right. Even having a business that makes like a lot of money doesn't really matter.
If you're not happy,
If you're not happy,
that doesn't matter.
none of this matters.
At the end of the day, never forget about it.
Right. So at the end of the day, it's did I have a good day or did I have a not so good day?
Interpretation.
And a lot of that interpretation,
Interpretation.
and a lot of whether you have a good day or a bad day, or if good things are happening to you or if bad things are happening to you, it's really kind of your perception. It's your interpretation of what a good day is or what a bad day is.
Yes, a big part of that is romanticizing that.
And a big part of that is romanticizing the past.
Even if you have 10 bad things happen to you,
So even if you have 10 bad things happen
I
to you,
will get one good thing out.
and you only get one good thing that happens to you,
Then good things over that one good thing.
then the trick to it is being thankful for that one good thing.
I'm not saying ignore, or don't kind of bad thing, but appreciate the good thing and be grateful for it.
Right, so that doesn't mean that you say ignore the bad thing, pretend the bad thing didn't happen. No, that's not what Sourena's saying at all. What he's saying is, hey, look, put it in perspective. Focus on the good thing. Know that the other thing still existed, but you focus and put your energy on the good thing that happened.
I really tired.
Yeah, Sourena had an amazing childhood.
I mean, like, I agree.
He had an amazing college experience.
I'm busy. Even to the day when we're
Right.
kids.
Even to this day, Sourena has amazing experiences.
No. Every opportunity I had to disability anyway.
Right. So at every one of these points, in fact, every single day even, Sorena's had to make the, you had, what did you say? To make the choice if you were going to view those experiences as positive or if you were going to view them as negative.
No. I think I have made teenage years.
Sourena said that he thinks he had amazing teenage years.
There were a lot of downs.
There were a lot of downs.
I was working with friends. I was working with friends.
You would You would whine to your friends? You were a whiner, Sourena? You would whine to your friends. Oh, okay. Because I can't even imagine you being a whiner.
I was get the
You would watch your friends get their driver's licenses?
and get one of my friends. They give me every when I
You would watch your friends get freedoms that you wanted?
yeah.
Gotcha.
But when I look back, I see that he was not my boy.
But when you look back,
I don't American do.
you don't dwell on that which you couldn't do.
Yeah. Everything I think in my life, I have the same
And everything
in my life.
in your life,
I have the same. I have the same. There are things older. I did.
all right, so everything in your life you had the same kind of attitude towards.
Yeah.
There were things that you did
That I could do. That I enjoyed.
that you could do that you enjoyed.
But there were things that I could not do, which cooking.
And then there were things that Sourena could not do, which
Which
was discouraging
and disappointing.
and disappointing.
But really bad. My interpretation of the experience.
Right, but then when Sourena looks back, it's all about his interpretation of those experiences.
No, I don't forget.
You don't forget.
I don't forget a lot.
You don't forget a lot.
And I can.
Yeah, it's kind of true. It's amazing. I'm always writing down things so I can remember. And then there's Sourena, who remembers it all. Doesn't have to write down little notes. You remember dates. You remember names. You just remember. And then there's me, who writes it all down. Sorry, just kind of a thing.
When I look back, I remember because I went from a good, not the bad.
Right. So what Sourena just said was that when he looks back, he wants to focus on the good, not just the bad.
Not focusing on the bad, and not focusing on the bad, and then learning from the bad.
Right. So there's a difference between not focusing on the bad and ignoring the bad.
You don't want to ignore the bad.
Right, because you're not an ostrich, so you don't want to ignore the bad. You just can't stick your head in the sand and ignore that the bad ever happened.
I'm not a big promoter of forgetting that or forgetting that.
Right. So I said, look, I'm not a big proponent of forgetting the bad, forgetting your limitations, none of that. You don't forget what's part of your life.
You need to look at,
Right. You need to learn from it. You need to be able to look back and learn from things. You need to be able to look back and learn from your challenges and so on and so forth. And some of the stuff you might still have to deal with, even though it happened who knows when ago, you still may have to deal with some of the effects of what happened in the past.
So let me give you some other examples.
All right, what are some more examples?
Let's see that you were married.
All right, so when we look at relationships.
He was married.
Yeah, and since we're talking about relationships, let's assume that the relationship we're talking about isn't necessarily a good relationship. We'll make it a bad one.
He got out.
And it dissolves.
We're getting married because they were bad.
Right. Would you then say, hey, you know what? I'm never going to end the relationship because it was just bad.
You know, one of the
Right. You wouldn't want to let that negative experience dictate the future. Just imagine.
There's some challenges I do.
There are some challenges with that attitude.
You know, you want to refresh, but you don't want to go at it.
Right. You want to learn from the past, but you don't want to dwell on it. So let's say we take that relationship example again.
Yeah.
There were things in the relationship probably that you would like to see again. So maybe you would want to continue some of those things. But then there were probably also things in that relationship that you didn't like, or things that you could look back and say, you know, I could have been better at this. And that's what you look and you assess and you figure out how you could improve for the next time.
Or you would avoid the quiet, you would avoid the quiet and the
or maybe there's some qualities in the other person that you learned about that you're like, you know what? Note to self. Next time I get in a relationship, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm going to find something different. Might be a good move for you.
First date run.
Right. Maybe it's somebody who asked to borrow money from you on date one. It might be a sign. You know what? I don't think I want to go there again. If I see this if I see this quality in a person again, I'm out.
I have to really
Right. So we're not even necessarily talking about just male-female romantic relationships. It could be, say, a business relationship.
Yeah, it's hard. When I was in business, I used to stuff.
Okay, so when you used to hire for your business, you used to bring in. Okay, so Sourena said that when he used to hire his employees, he would always look for team members that had certain skills. He didn't look at much else, he looked at skills.
Yeah, no, I understand that we get skills can be there. But can you do this individual that's working like it's better
Right. So what Sourena said he learned is, it took a little time, but he learned it, that skills are something that can be learned. You can teach skills, but there's certain other things that can't be taught. You can't teach work ethic. You can't teach integrity. You can't teach honesty. You can't teach a positive attitude. You can't teach just general pleasantness and politeness. These are things that you can't really teach so well, or maybe you don't want to teach.
I need to be
So what Sourena said was, another thing he learned was that when it comes to dealing with his team, he needs to be excited to work with the people that are on his team.
I need to be able to. I need to be able to hang out with a club.
Right. So these are people that Sourena needs to want to hang out with. They're people that he could imagine, hey, you know what, we're going to go have coffee together, or we're going to go for a stroll or something together. People that you actually find interesting and intriguing, and that somebody you just want to be around. Right. If these are people Sourena wants to hang with, they're people he wants to hang with and be like, hey, you know what? We can have a good time together.
I know the guys. I have
All right, so there was a little digression there.
Yeah.
Are we digressing again?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to digress a little more. But there is a point. We'll get there.
When we do that, I will forget that.
So when we were putting together this live,
we played it over the last year.
Yeah, we were thinking about the last year.
And this year was challenging.
And this year was a little challenging at points.
We get into the lives under team members.
Okay, so yeah, we were trying to do certain things, and in order to do them, we had to have certain types of team members, and we went looking.
It took a while.
Yeah, and that search took a while, and in the process, it was
Yes.
it was real.
It was challenging.
Yeah, that process was challenging. It was real. It was really real.
That we have been here.
Right, but even with that, the conclusion is that our year is still amazing.
Yeah, other stuff happened that were not fun.
Right, even with the things that happened that really just weren't so fun, and we wouldn't want to necessarily do again, the year overall was still amazing.
Again, you really understand. You really understand everything I did, but you don't want to.
Say that again for me, please.
You want to understand.
You want to understand. Yeah, you want to understand, and you want to learn from all the things that happened to you. Your experiences. Yes.
You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it.
Right. Learn from them, but not necessarily dwell on them.
I was what we're wrong this year.
Right. Sourena said he wants to learn what went wrong this year.
But I don't want to go, oh my goodness.
But you don't want to dwell on it.
Yeah.
It's one thing to learn from it, but if you dwell on it, the result tends to be that you get kind of stuck there, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When you're a kid.
Right, it's kind of like when you were a kid.
When you're a kid.
Oh, it's like when you do have, not when you were a kid, but when you do have children.
every parent goes through the thing where the kids are fine. Every parent goes through a moment where the kids are fine.
Sourena said, hey, look, as parents, there's a really good chance you're going to go through a day when your child is just fussy. Pretty much. It's going to happen.
No matter what age you are. What age you are.
Yeah, no matter what age your child, no matter how old you are, at some point in your parenting experience, there's a really good chance that you're going to have a day when you're like, this child is just fussy.
I'm not just going to be that. If you're really that one, you're going to be with the team and the social life.
All right, so you said if you have little bits, if you have the little bitties, what now?
If you're the little ones,
Yeah, you have the littles?
they're going to start eating.
Oh, yes, they'll start teething.
And they will do that the whole day.
Right, and they might scream the whole day because they're in just so much pain they don't know what to do, so we all get to be in pain.
But you know what? You want to deal with it. That you don't want the experience to define your issue. You can't.
Right, so what Sourena said was you want to deal with that day, and you don't want that experience to define your entire 18 plus year relationship with your child.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to dwell on it, because stuff happens. All right, so here's another example. Perhaps you go out. It's a Saturday night, and out you go.
You
go to a restaurant. Apparently, a lot of other people have the same idea to go out because they're there too.
And you know how many words to be.
And you know.
You know how many words to be.
And you don't have anywhere to really go.
Yeah. And you hang out with people.
And you're hanging out with your people you like.
Yeah.
You're having a good time.
But the waitress for whatever is awesome.
But the wait's really long.
Yeah. And the service is not that good.
And because it's so crowded, the service is at best subpar.
Yes. So when we come to the check, I can go. I can say, or I can go. Oh my goodness, my brother.
All right, so now it's time. The night's over, the check has come, and it's time to pay. And are you going to look at that check and go, oh my gosh, I'm not paying because, well, the server didn't serve, the food came out late, and I had to wait a long time? Or do you instead say, you know, my night was good, let me just do what I have to do, and I have this great memory?
I would say, do you realize and do you reckon reality?
Right. Sourena said, look, he always says this. In life, there's reality. And reality, well, it just is. But then there's your reaction to reality. And that's what you can control.
A lot of people want to control reality. A lot of people want to control reality.
A lot of people
Want to control reality.
Yeah, a lot of people want to control reality.
But to control reality, then you don't control reality.
Sourena said, if you control reality.
You don't control reality. If you ain't control reality, if you ain't control reality,
If you want to control your reality.
Then you crazy.
Then you will go crazy.
Yeah, but if you have a reaction to reality,
But if you have a positive reaction to reality,
then you control your destiny.
then you control your destiny. So, Sourena, are you saying that, look, life happens, and there's only so much of it that you can control. And one of those things that you can control is your attitude about how life happens, what you can learn from life happening. And when you control those things, then you control what you can do with the life that happens.
But part of it is imagining.
And then that relates back to romanticizing the past.
That means we get it. You should not think about it later. You should think about what your friend said. You should think about you should think about everything that's accelerated.
Right. So the things that I just said was this. Let's go back to that example of going out at night and hanging with our friends. When we look back on that night, yeah, the reality happened, but hopefully the part of it that you can handle or you can control, which is your reaction to it, causes you to look back and say, you know what, it was a good night. I got to hang out with my friends. I got to have a good time. I got to eat a decent meal, drink a little wine, and make a good memory.
We make it food.
Yeah, in your case, not wine, a little bourbon, and make a good memory. And that's the part you can control. And that's how you romanticize the past so that you can move forward, you can grow, you can move forward, you can keep living your life.
My name is
This is Sourena Basegi, and Sourena wants you to become amazing, or actually to be even more amazing than you already are. And, well, have a good weekend. Yeah, and Sorena's going to see you next Friday. It'll be the very last live of 2018. And honestly, it'll be our very last live of the very first year that we've done this. Yeah. Well, we had a few practice ones in 2017, but really, 2018 was our first full year.
And
it was a great year. Yeah. So enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next week. And with that, go be amazing.